Hey kids! There are lots of choices that we make each day, aren't there? And most of the choices we make, well, it doesn't really matter which one we choose. For example, what are we going to have for breakfast? We're going to have cereal or toast. Sometimes we need a reminder to help us make a good choice. At the end of the book of Joshua, the Israelites had a choice to make. A very important choice. The most important choice that they would ever make. They had to choose who they were going to serve. Were they going to serve God, or were they going to serve the pretend gods? Before they made their choice, God told Joshua to remind them of some things that were going to help them to make the best choice. This is what God said. A long time ago, your ancestor Abraham lived far, far away, and he followed pretend gods. But I chose him and promised him a big family, a beautiful land, and a great blessing. I gave him a son, Isaac, even though he was too old to have children. Isaac had 2 sons, Jacob and Esau, and Jacob had many sons. And when their family was about to run out of food, I took them to Egypt so that they could be safe. Many years later, I sent Moses and Aaron to help your people. I sent plagues so that Pharaoh would let your people go. I split the Red Sea in 2 so that the Israelites could cross over safely and escape the Egyptians. I looked after you when you wandered in the wilderness for many years. I sent food and water and kept you safe. I brought you across the Jordan River, and I brought down the walls of Jericho and defeated all the cities in Canaan. Your enemies were scared when you came to fight them, but not because you were strong, but because I am strong. I gave you this promised land. It was a gift from me to you, a place where you could live with me and be my people. Deep in your hearts, you know that the Lord has kept every promise he ever made to you. Not one of them has been broken. These are all the things that God has done for you. Now, you have to choose. Who will you follow? Will you follow the one true God? Or you follow pretend gods and idols? If you follow the one true God, you must throw away all your pretend gods. The Israelites said, yes, we will follow God. Joshua set up a big stone to remind them of the promise that they made. It would be a reminder for many generations that the Israelites had promised to serve God, that they had chosen to follow God. Kids, just like the Israelites had to make a very important choice, we have an important choice to make too. The most important choice that we will ever make. Are we going to follow Jesus or ignore him? God has given us the whole Bible to remind us of all the things we need to know in order to make that choice. He's given us the whole Bible to remind us of all the things that Jesus has done for us. How about I tell you just a few of the highlights? Jesus is God's Son who came to earth. He grew up to do amazing things. He healed the sick and forgave their sins. He showed that he had incredible power over all creation when he stopped a giant storm just by talking. He brought people who were dead back to life again. Then he was arrested, even though he'd done nothing wrong. He was made fun of for being the king and killed on a cross. He did that to take the punishment for your sin and my sin, so that if we trust him, we can follow and obey God and live with him forever in heaven. But even better, he didn't stay dead. 3 days later, his tomb was empty and he appeared to lots of people to show that he had defeated sin forever. Then he sent those who follow him a helper, the Holy Spirit, who would help us live for Jesus and become more and more like him until the day when people will be with God in heaven. So now, knowing all of that, we have a choice to make. Are we going to follow Jesus or ignore him? It's the most important choice we'll ever make. I know which one I'm going to choose. Which one will you choose?